I don't even know. So, this is a new style video that I'm going to be putting out on the channel. It's going to be called Sophie's Soapbox. It's going to be a vlog style series. Basically, it's going to be where I just talk about my life or things that I've gone through or things that I'm curious about or things that I'm knowledgeable about or things that I just kind of want to talk to people about. Because I have a lot to say. I have a lot that I need to get out there, and it's difficult sometimes to talk to people you know, even if you trust them, and you know that you can trust them, and you know that they're gonna be honest with you and give you honest opinion or honest perspective. It can still be difficult opening up to people that you know in your immediate vicinity. So I thought this might help. They're gonna be longer format videos. They're just going to be me having a conversation with the microphone. I don't necessarily know if these are going to do very well, or if anyone's even going to really care. But they're videos that aren't really for other people. I mean, they are, and I hope that what I say or what I think, I hope that some people find something in there that maybe they relate to, maybe makes their life a little bit easier for them, or kind of puts things into perspective, or in a way that maybe they never thought of. Because that happens to all of us, where we don't necessarily think about something in a certain light until it's been shown to us that way. Especially if it's not something that we experience as an individual. If it's not something that we don't see or that we don't feel, it can be difficult to try and verbalize, maybe, or visualize. Wrong V word. Visualize that. It can be difficult to visualize things that you don't experience, which is a whole nother thing that we'll likely get into in one of these videos, talking about people that don't necessarily or can't necessarily understand things because they just, I don't know if it's they lack the ability to think about things or see things in a different perspective, or they choose not to, maybe. I don't know. But eventually we'll talk about all that. I just wanted to do a little starter video and talk about who I am and what I think or what I've been through. I am still working on the most recent episode of the survival series. That is still going to happen. Truth be told, I've been having a really rough time. I've been having a rough week, and I've been recording footage and I've been playing, and it's been enjoyable, and I like what I'm doing. I like the builds that I've built, and I really hope that eventually that you guys like it too, once I get that video edited down and put out, which will probably happen later this week, maybe this weekend, but we'll see. I guess one of the things I can talk about is the name Sophie's Soapbox. So, I am a bit of a nerd, and I like comic books. I came from a poor family, so we never really had a lot of money, especially when I was young. So comic books weren't a thing that I really grew up with a lot as a kid. But they were something that I was always interested in. I always knew or had friends that collected them or read them, so I read some comic books. But in my early adulthood and now in my adulthood, I really started to gravitate towards Marvel. I really liked Marvel a lot, so I always liked when I found out that Stan Lee had his own editorial on the in the back of certain issues where it would be called Stan's Soapbox, and it would be his opinion on the comic books, or his opinion on life, or just his musings about things that he wanted to get out there. And he owned the comic book, or ran it, or whatever. I'm not even 100% sure on that, but he had the ability to do that as an editor, to add that editorial in there, and it was his way of communicating with the readers and with the larger community, things that don't normally come up in normal comic books, or don't get touched on, or can't be elaborated enough on in a video, or in a comic rather, for them. And that's kind of what inspired me to want to do this sort of a video. So I hope you folks like it genuinely, and I hope that it helps people. I struggle with a lot of mental illness. I have moderate general anxiety. It's difficult for me to leave my house. It was difficult for me to leave my house sometimes before the pandemic. Afterwards, it has been really difficult. But I still am struggling a lot with a lot of that, and I'm hoping that by getting it all out like this, it can help me, and it can help other people that might be struggling too on what's happening. I think we'd look so crazy in a dress. We're not going to do a dress. We're going to do pants. Let's get this figured out first. Get the game rolling. Do we want to look like Charlie Brown? It's kind of a Charlie Brown video, isn't it? I'm kind of talking about depressing topics and big topics like this. It's not exactly interesting stuff, but let's go overalls. Why not? And I'm a pasty white girl, so we're gonna keep that pasty and white. Sophie. Ba-ba-da. Farm name. Farm name. Let's go Eeyore. Why not? Eeyore Farm. Favorite thing. Let's go Ninja Turtles' favorite thing. We'll go pizza. Pizza. Why not? Doesn't matter. Perfect for a group. Hilltop, rocky terrain, windy river, winding river. Forest farm, riverland, standard farm. Let's go with forest farm. Okay. So let's get this loaded up. I really love this game. For the most part, it was written, created, and done all by one guy. It was a passion project of his. It's an homage to an old game that came out in the 90s, and for the love of me, I can't remember the name of it, but it was one of these world games where you all of a sudden come into an area and you have to explore and you meet people, and there's all these intersecting like storylines and merging paths with all of the NPC characters that really it's not in a whole lot of games now. We're gonna skip over Grandpa. Grandpa died. He left us the farm. If you've played Stardew, then you know. You know. Come on. If you're watching this video, you know. Going down the road. But I've always struggled with bipolar disorder. I was diagnosed when I was 16. It's always been something that I've struggled with. I've been on pharmaceutical medication. I've been off of pharmaceutical medication. I've tried therapy, and I've tried a whole bunch of other stuff. I've tried hypnosis, and I've tried meditation and yoga, and certain things help, certain things don't help. But it's still a struggle. Even if you find something that works for you to help you control those things, it's still a struggle. It's still something that you combat. And in our society and the way things are, it can be difficult trying to deal with that, because there's so much stigma around people just being open and honest about their struggles or about what's going on inside of them. Especially in America, where I am. If you didn't know by my lovely American accent, there's a lot of stigma here where we're not allowed to talk about things like this. It's gotten a lot better since I was born in the 80s, mid to late 80s, but it's still not something that we widely talk about. And if it is something that we're talking about, it's always in a negative connotation, which is, it's devaluing to the person that is experiencing the illness, and it's devaluing to society as a whole, because it's perpetuating a concept that we can't be vulnerable, that we can't be human, which is an absurd statement, because we're all human and we're all vulnerable. Even if we try to act like we aren't, we are. And to just allow that stigma to permeate and to continue to grow or to continue to fester in our society, it is just it's a disservice. It's a disservice to the people that experience the illness or the issue or the trauma, and it's a disservice to society, because when we continue to raise children in a society like that, we're telling them from birth that they can't be vulnerable. And it doesn't matter what gender they are, if they're male or female or non-binary or agender or bigender or anything. It doesn't matter. This concept transcends all of that, because it's something that affects all of us, and it holds all of us back, because it's ableism, which is something that's becoming more in vogue to talk about. But for a lot of us that have always experienced mental illness or mental issues or are handicapped in some way, have always experienced this. And a lot of us have always talked about this. Or if we've had older relatives who have been handicapped or disabled or whatever term you want to use, have been talking about this. These aren't new issues. These are issues that have been around. We've always crapped on people that are quote unquote beneath us, or somehow are leeches on society, which is such a bullshit comment. It's such a crappy line of thinking to be like, no, these people deserve less because they can't, quote unquote, pull themselves up by their bootstraps, or because they can't function in a society that isn't designed for them to comfortably function. And that's what it boils down to. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody with my language, because even I'm learning. Even I'm trying to struggle through my own internalized ableism and my own internalized phobias and my own internalized bullshit. Even as a trans woman, which I'm sure most of you have probably thought, and it was going to come out eventually anyways, I'm trans. I'm a trans woman, and even I struggle with a lot of toxic bullshit that is inside of me, that was bred into me. And that's on top of my already chemical imbalance in my brain with the issues that I already struggle with. That doesn't become easier because I have internalized bullshit. We all carry that internalized bullcrap. Should probably stop swearing so much. We all carry that internalized crap. It's whether or not we acknowledge that and we try to grow from that as a person. I can't be any better than I was yesterday if I don't challenge myself. But also, I need to comfort myself too. And I think that's what a lot of people neglect, or what a lot of people forget, is when we're putting in the work on ourselves, and we're putting in the work to unpack all of that internalized stuff that has been just bred into us from childhood and onward. I don't even know where I'm going with this now. I'm just so tired, and I'm sure you can hear that. I know a lot of people are tired, and it's not just those of us that struggle with mental issues or mental illness or whatever. It's everybody. It just affects us a lot more. And that's why I'm just asking that we all just be a little more compassionate in ourselves, and a little more compassionate with those around us. Especially if you see that they're struggling. There's so much evil and there's so much hate out there in the world that it just... There's just so much hate, and a lot of that hate comes from inside of us. Not a lot of it, but some of it comes from inside of us, and some of that hate comes from us either being ashamed of who we are, or afraid to be open of who we are, or we have internalized crap about hating other people that has been taught to us from birth. Because all of these things that I'm touching on, and all of these things that I plan on touching on, hopefully in more coherent videos moving forward, it's such internalized and taught stuff. Racism, ableism, all of these isms, they're all taught to us. They're all ingrained in us in various levels. Especially white folks, and we get so high and mighty, and we get so up on our horses, and when you try to tell, and this is gonna sound, and I'm sure someone very well may comment and tell me that I'm being racist against white people, even though I am a white person, but when you try to tell a white person that they're wrong, and not even that they're wrong, that just like, hey, maybe you're mistaken a little bit, or maybe like your line of thinking is a little flawed because you're looking at it from a place of privilege, which privilege does exist, and we do have privilege as white people. It can be difficult when that privilege is challenged, especially when it's the first time that your privilege as a white person is challenged. It's difficult to have a person of color or another disenfranchised person tell you, like, hey, guess what? Your life might still be difficult, and you might still struggle with a lot of things, but your life isn't made more difficult by the color of your skin. And that's the privilege. That is white privilege. Inherently, in our society, just by having white skin, we are not ostracized or oppressed in the same ways that brown and black and indigenous people or other disenfranchised groups are ostracized or oppressed. I, for one, know that I've never been followed around a department store when I'm shopping, but I've been in a department store with friends who are black and seen the white staff, or even just the staff, because it's even sometimes brown and black folks, because that's what the companies tell you, is to watch out for people like that, because you don't know what they're doing. And I've seen it. I worked in retail. I dealt with it. I left a convenience store chain that I worked at because the manager herself told me to watch out for black and brown folks when she herself had mixed children with a black guy. That's privilege. And that's also internalized racism. And it's kind of why I left the company, because that whole company was just outrageous. But we're not going to go there. 3, 4, 5. Okay, because I got 15, right? I don't know where the heck I was going with this. I just wanted to do an intro video, and it's very scattered, and it's very all over the place. But as I had stated, I've been struggling a lot, and I haven't seen any of my close friends in months, because we're all trying to be responsible. I see some people every once in a while, but for the most part, I just stay at home. And part of that is because of my anxiety and my issues, and the other part is because I'm trying to do the right thing, because I'm tired of people dying. And I haven't even known anyone that's died. Maybe I'm just too empathetic. Maybe I just care too much. I don't think that's possible, personally. I think that's what society tries to tell us, is that we shouldn't worry about things that won't ever concern us. And I'm sure that's something that we've all heard a ton. It's proper etiquette that we don't talk, you don't worry about, what is it? Don't worry about anything past your nose or whatever. There was some dumb idiom that my grandma and older relatives used to use about, like, basically just not worrying about anything past the tip of your nose, basically. And that keeps people down. It keeps people separated. It keeps people feeling like they're completely alone, because when you tell people that they can't talk about things, especially their struggles, because they can be perceived as weak, then that just means that the other person that might equally be as quote-unquote weak still feels isolated. And in our society, that's what they want. And when I say they, I just mean the way that society is designed. They is a broad statement for society in general. Society wants to keep us separated. They want us to be individuals, which we are individuals. But we're individuals that live in a community. We live in a communal society. We live in a society where we are all interconnected, even if we never see each other. For all I know, there could be someone listening to this video right now that I will never meet. I will never realistically know their name. I'm still concerned about their safety. I'm still concerned about their well-being. Even if I don't know who they are. Even if I have no idea or any concept of who they are. I still care. And you should too. Because what if that was us? I mean, it is me. Right now. While I talk to you in this video, while I ramble into my microphone, I am one of those people. I'm struggling. And I know I'm not alone. Even in my own city, I know I'm not alone. Even in my own group of friends, I know I'm not alone. I don't want anyone to feel alone. I don't want anyone to have to feel the way that I felt, the way that I do feel right now. Because it's such a crappy feeling. And a lot of that is my chemical imbalance in my brain because of my diagnoses. But that's not all of it. a lot of it is society. We need to stop building walls around ourselves. Because walls protect us, but it doesn't protect those around us. And when we build walls up around ourselves, we miss the bigger picture. We miss the concept that we live in a community. And although we might be the only person in our immediate vicinity that's struggling, and that might be difficult for us, if we see everyone in our family and everyone in our lives around us doing great, and we're struggling, that can feel really, 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 really crappy. So that's why we need to be open like this. That's why we need to be honest like this about what we're feeling and about what we're thinking or about what we're experiencing. Because we all deserve to know that we're not alone. And that can be difficult. If you have friends or relatives around you that are still blind to the toxic nonsense that society heaves upon us day in and day out, I genuinely hope that this video reached someone. I hope someone made it to the end. If you're still listening, I really genuinely hope that you have a wonderful day and a beautiful tomorrow, because we all deserve that. We all deserve that comfort. And that's what's led to this. Because I'm tired of keeping all of this in. And the few really close friends that I talk to and talk to on a regular basis, they know, because I ramble like this to them, especially my poor partner. I ramble her poor head off, I'm sure. And she just sits there and she listens to me, philosophize and pontificate on all sorts of crazy nonsense. But I thought this was a better avenue, because I don't think I'm the only one out there. I don't necessarily know how to quote-unquote market these videos. I don't know how to market myself, and it's cringe to fucking say that. To have to say that. Because it's such nonsense. I'm on YouTube trying to make Minecraft videos and gaming videos because it genuinely brings me happiness. It brings me the happy. I get good vibes when I make these videos because I genuinely enjoy playing Minecraft, and I genuinely enjoy playing video games. But I like talking to people too. And I feel like that's something that's been missing from my videos, is the talking. Because I've been trying too hard to make Minecraft videos and YouTube videos that I think will, appeal to, large audiences. Because I am trying to build an audience. I'm trying to build a platform on YouTube to try and make some sort of a living from doing videos like this, or videos like Minecraft. Maybe I will show my face eventually. I just don't have a webcam, if I'm being honest. But we all deserve to find a path forward in life. And that's not always going to be measured in success, in the way that we think about success now. And that's not a bad thing. I'm privileged enough that I can be unemployed and I can try to figure myself out and figure out my place in society. But I can tell you right now that I know my place in society isn't where society inherently thinks that we all belong. And that's not wrong. And that doesn't make me weak. And it doesn't make me lesser of a person because my success or my goals in life aren't quantifiable in terms of finance or money or status. Those things don't matter to everyone. And they certainly don't really matter to me. I just want to be happy. And I just want to be healthy. I think I need this. I think I need these vlog videos. So there's going to be more of them coming. If you don't like this style of content, that's fine. You don't have to watch them. I'm going to keep putting out the Let's Play series. I'm going to be doing a Skyblock series eventually too. And I might be branching out into some other games. This probably isn't going to be the last time that we see Stardew. I might actually do an actual Stardew series that's more centered on the game and less on me rambling and talking. But I need this. I need to get this out, and I'm hoping it helps other people. Because I'm still struggling, and I'm still going to struggle. I currently have no insurance. That's going to be rectified shortly, and then I'll be able to get medication again and a therapist again, and that will make things easier. But I'm still going to do these because I'm okay with being vulnerable. Because I think there's strength in that. And I hope by being vulnerable and being open like this, that it helps other people that might be struggling to feel validated or to feel comforted by someone else, even if it's just some random stranger on the internet. You're not alone, and I want you to know that. And I want you to know that you're cared about, even if it feels like you're not. People care. I care. And I don't even know who the heck you are. And I care. I genuinely mean that. Because, and it's a bit cliche, if people can hate so easily, why can't we love as easily too? And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just gonna love unconditionally, especially for other minorities and queer folks and disenfranchised people and poor folks and disabled folks and everybody. Because there is so much crap in this world holding us back and pushing us down. And there's so many people out there that just seem hell-bent on ignoring that and just continuing on in an illusion that isn't healthy for any of us. And if my years of therapy have taught me anything, it's that. You can't believe in toxic delusions because it's not healthy. It's not healthy for you, and it's not healthy for the people around you. And there's a lot of people out there that don't even realize that they're living a delusion, or that they're living in a society that intentionally cuts people down because they're somehow, quote unquote, lesser. And that's bullshit. Because we're all equal. We all deserve comfort, and we all deserve compassion, and we all deserve empathy. Period. I genuinely hope that you folks have a wonderful day. I know I said that a couple of times, and I'm still rambling 40 minutes in. But yeah. I love you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day and a beautiful tomorrow. And I'll see you in the next video.